Alright, what's up guys? In this video we're going to pick up with some college algebra here. We're going to be talking about complex fractions. So as to simplify the complex fraction, they give us 2x minus 1 over 2 minus x over 6 divided by 2x minus 1 over 36 plus 12 over x. Now most students do not like complex fractions because these problems look like a nightmare to deal with, but they're actually very simple to simplify, and I'm going to run through the process for you. So remember, in order to add and subtract fractions, we need to have a common denominator. As you can see here in our numerator, we don't have a common denominator for 2x minus 1 over 2 minus x over 6. So what we need to do is find the LCM, the least common multiple, for our denominators there. And you can find your LCM, or your least common denominator, some people call it that, in a variety of ways. I use prime factorization to find the LCM, but there are other ways you can do it. In this particular case, it's easy to see that the LCM here between these two denominators is just 6. So what that means is that we'll need to get a common denominator of 6 for both these fractions. As we see here that we already have a 6 in our denominator there, but there's not a 6 there, so we need to get one there. So the only fraction that we're going to have to change here is the first one. So we got 2x minus 1 all over 2. What I can do so I can get a 6 in the denominator is multiply by 3 over 3. And so if I do that, I'll get 3 times 2x minus 1, and 2 times 3 is obviously 6. So now we have a 6 in our denominator there, and we can subtract the fractions now. So if we do that, we'll simply have 3 times 2x minus 1 minus x, and since they both have a common denominator of 6, we can just put it all over 6. And remember, when we're adding, subtracting fractions, the denominator will not change. We just need to simplify the numerator. So we'll apply distributive property. So if we do that, we'll get 6x minus 3 minus x, and that's going to be all over 6. And then we got 6x minus x, which is 5x. We still got our minus 3 there, and that's going to be all over 6. So that's about as far as we can go simplifying this first fraction here. So we're going to have 5x minus 3 all over 6. So you want to take care of one thing at a time. All right, so now let's deal with this bottom one here. So for this bottom one, we got 2x minus 1 over 36 plus 12 over x. Same idea here. We need common denominators. The LCM in this case is very easy to see. It's just going to be 36x. And remember, once you have the LCM is what's going to need to be in the denominator for both of the fractions. So as we can see, the first fraction does have a 36 there. The second fraction has an x. So we'll need to multiply the first fraction by x over x, and then multiply the second fraction by 36 over 36. So let's do that. So we'll have 2x minus 1 over 36. Let's multiply by x over x. And so if we do that, we'll simply get x times 2x minus 1 all over 36x. Similarly, for the second fraction, we got 12 over x. Now we'll need to multiply the numerator denominator by 36. So if we do that, obviously we know we're going to get 36x down here. I don't know what 12 times 36 is off the top of my head, so I'm going to do that. So that's 12 times 36, which is 432. So we'll have 432 here. And so if we were to go ahead and try to add these, we could set it up like this. We can set it up as x times 2x minus 1. This is going to be plus 432, and it's going to be all over our common denominator of 36x. Now, again, we just need to simplify the numerator, and we can apply distributive property in this case. So we'll get 2x squared minus x, and this is going to be plus 432, and that's going to be all over my common denominator of 36x. And so now what we'll have in our denominator for this complex fraction is 2x squared minus x plus 432, and that's going to be all over 36x. So now we have common denominators, and we can deal with the fraction. So remember, anytime you don't want to do a division, you can just turn it into multiplication. So what we'll do, remember with these types of problems, to make this easier, we can convert to multiplication. So what I'll do is I'll take my first fraction, which was, well, actually, this is what they originally gave us. And since we're going to another sheet, let me just kind of write this out again, just so you don't get lost as to where we started. So this is where we started, and we simplified. So let me just rewrite this again. So this is where we started. And when we did everything, we changed it. So now we had the first fraction was 5x minus 3 all over 6. And then remember, we ended up getting 2x squared minus x plus 432 over 36x. Well, to change this into multiplication, all I have to do is take my first fraction and multiply it by the reciprocal of the second. A reciprocal just simply means flipping the fraction over. So I'm going to flip this fraction over. And so that's going to be times 36x all over 2x squared minus x plus 432. Okay, now we just need to simplify this a little bit more. The first thing I would probably do is I would rewrite 36, because notice here we have 5x minus 3 all over 6. Now I can write 36 or rewrite 36 as 6 times 6. Again, multiplied by x, and then down here we got 2x squared minus x plus 432. And as you can see here, we can cancel out one of the 6's. You can't cancel out both because you don't have another 6 to cancel out. So be careful with that and make sure you're not canceling out more 6's than you're allowed to do here. And so if we continue with this, it looks like we'll just have 6x on top. We'll have 5x minus 3. And then this will be all over 2x squared minus x plus 432. Could you distribute? Sure. I guess if you want to, but it's not particularly necessary in this case because we really can't go any further with this. But if you did distribute, you would simply get 30x squared, and then this would just be minus what's that going to be? That's going to be minus 18x, and that's going to be all over 2x squared minus x plus 432. And that is about as far as you can go with the simplification. So your final answer here, after we simplify this complex fraction, we could just write our answer as 30x squared minus 18x all over 2x squared minus x plus 432. And that's about as far as we can go with it, and you can leave it there. All right, so let me circle that for you, and that's how you simplify a complex fraction. So if you have any questions about this, please let me know. This stuff, like I said, isn't too bad. It does take a little bit of work, however. All right, so hopefully you guys are having a good day, and hopefully you understood everything. So I'll see you next time.